I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the Black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% Black all the time. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. You can subscribe to the show on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, basically anywhere you can find a podcast. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button. It's a little bell icon so that you can be notified when we have new episodes come out. Leave a comment and let everybody know about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Mark B. Let's bring the crew in. All right, y'all. So we down one soldier. Rika got other obligations, but the boy Jonathan Majors, he's been in the news a lot. C and I talked about him on a previous show. Check that episode out. It was hilarious. But he was in the news for some not so good stuff, man. Came out that he was arrested for strangulation and some other stuff. And it was very troubling because right now, this guy's kind of like at the top of the world when it comes to Hollywood. He was just in Creed 3 with Michael B. Jordan. I saw the movie, good movie. He was just in Ant-Man playing Kang the Conqueror. So for our Marvel fans, you know who that character is, and you know how big that character is as a villain. And on the precipice of doing at least one more Marvel movie, if not a couple. As his character, so he's on the cusp of doing some major things in Hollywood. So for this news to come out that he, allegedly, assaulted this woman and strangled her or whatever, is very troubling. A lot of people put on the tinfoil koofies and say, "Hey, this is them trying to bring down another Black man." Some people was like, "Well, let's wait till all the facts come out." Well, as the show's being recorded, some new news came out from his attorney that the person that allegedly said that he did these things recanted the story, and that there's witnesses and some maybe some footage of the interaction or alleged altercation that's going to absolve him of all this. But it speaks to a bigger topic on multiple layers, and we'll get into it. But when y'all first heard the news, we'll just start from the beginning. When you first heard the news, what was your initial reaction?
So my initial reaction was, I mean, like in most situations, I said I'm gonna wait until I hear the facts. Especially when I heard it was a cab, I'm like, yeah, I know most cabs in those big cities typically have some type of dash cam. So I was just like, it's probably not going to be anything that's going to be like up for debate. It's like, the facts are going to speak for itself. And I mean, from what I heard, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. See, I was honestly when I first saw it, I was like, no way, But then I said, read the story and said, let's wait and see, because you never know, man. It's I mean, you just never know.
So, I think I was like, y'all, I wanted to wait on the facts. I said, I really hope that this isn't true. And like y'all, I was like, well, there's probably footage, right? So this either is going to be a Michael Irvin situation or it's going to be a Ray Rice situation. So for those who don't know about Michael Irvin, he was in Arizona for the Super Bowl and he got into so they tried to say that he was inappropriate with a hotel staff member, right? And that, he made some out of bounds comments or what have you. And he was pulled from the broadcast, right? From the coverage of the Super Bowl. And then not allegedly, And then the footage was released, right? His attorney showed the footage on TV, and you saw where this interaction with Michael Irvin and this woman wasn't like the hotel tried to make it seem, right? It seemed like she was okay. They was like, you don't hear any audio, but you could see where the staff, the men that were working with her, were more upset than she was, and they were not even close to where this happened at. So it really, more details are probably going to come out about it, but it really absolved Michael Irvin of this whole, inappropriate and people thinking like he, did something to this woman. And so I'm hoping that this is the same thing for Jonathan Majors, that, the video comes out and the witnesses statements come out and it gets this brother off, because a lot of people are like, well, he's supposed to be starring in the Marvel movies, and it'd be messed up if he's out of it. How about we just break it down to the crux of the matter? Let's just hope he's not an abuser. Let's just put it like that. Let's just hope that this black man is not an abuser.
And you know what? I saw people online who was like, I knew something was he just seemed like that kind of person. It was all kind of stuff like that already.
I saw that too. I'm like, how? You don't know that man.
Exactly. But anytime you make a misstep in this day and age, it's a bunch of people just waiting on you to make a misstep. Waiting.
People were really saying that?
Yeah.
For real. People was like, I could tell. He's that kind of person.
I can show you a few more.
Yeah.
What were they basing it on, though?
Exactly.
No clue.
Was it black people saying this? Black men and women saying this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That I saw, at least.
And then they were like, I heard he was really difficult to deal with, and he's lashes out at people all the time on set, and all kind of stuff I saw, man. Yeah.
Well, the smear campaign was quick.
Yeah.
There was one Twitter chain that people were putting out there. This guy put it out, and I don't know, if I think they said he was a director or what have you. I don't know, some white guy, and he put it out there. There's a Hollywood darling out right now that is well known in the Princeton and the New York community. And he is, they went to detailing about how this guy is a sociopath and he's an abuser. And this person, they didn't put his name out, right? But when this came out, folks went back to that tweet and they were like, oh, obviously this is who he was talking about, because obviously Jonathan Majors came from that area. So people put like 2 and 2 together that this was the person that they were talking about. It still may be true that he is a jerk. He may be hard to deal with on set, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that he has what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think he has built enough. I don't think he has enough of a track record to be a diva on set, right? He's on the cusp of being a major thing, but he ain't Will Smith, he ain't Samuel Jackson, he ain't Denzel. They probably can, say, listen, I'm gonna be this way. They could be a quote unquote, I hate to call a man this, but I don't know another way to say it, a diva on set. I don't think that's necessarily what Jonathan Majors is, but I don't know the man. And oftentimes when you set firm boundaries and you don't acquiesce to people saying, oh, we want you to do this and oh, we want you to do that, then they label you a certain way. So there's all kinds of things out there that we just don't know.
And we talked about it the last show, the one before, we was talking about Holly Weird. So if you ain't down with the get down that they do, and you're like, nah, I ain't doing it that way, then they can say he's difficult too. So
yeah.
And the thing about it is he can't be too difficult, because saw how he was dressed in that Ebony cover, and in the photo shoot he was doing with Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, with duck lips. So I don't know, man.
But that's two different things, though. Being difficult on the set is not committing assault and choking somebody in the cab. So if he did not do that exact incident that she accused him of, he needs to sue her, and she needs to be arrested for making a false report. Same way with Michael Irvin's situation. From what I heard, the employee wasn't even the one that kicked off the whole Michael Irvin stuff. It was her coworkers. So I think she probably repeated a story, added something to it, and somebody else added something to it. But whoever did it, like whoever, but the police circle back to her and she confirmed their story, then she needs to be held accountable. Like, it's a problem. Like, I don't care how difficult he is and said, I don't care what food or drink demands he has. If he did not choke that woman out and she told the police he did, and they wasted all those resources to arrest him, she needs to be held liable for it. Hey, what's good, everybody? I know you're enjoying the show, but we're going to take a quick break right here so I can tell you about our merchandise. If you want to look photo shoot fresh like us and rep the Man Listen Show, check out the link in our bio.
The thing with that, though, is I heard, well, I ain't gonna say I heard, God, they're reporting that that's a domestic situation. That's like his girl. And so oftentimes in those situations, the woman does recant, because they don't want charges pressed. Honestly, we don't know if it happened or not. But if they're recanting, it could be in the sake of furthering their relationship or to keep calm or keep peace in the relationship.
Yeah.
That is true, because I know, and I think, I don't know how many years ago it started, several years ago, probably even 10 or 20. But yeah, if a girlfriend or wife presses charges, they can't just drop them and say, oh, never mind, because, then somebody will pick them up. But in this situation, I thought I heard that they had video, which that was how he got out. Was it just simply her recanting?
No, she definitely recanted. And I believe, and obviously we'll see, that there's video and witnesses.
Right. They said video for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so video for sure. Yeah. I think the thing that, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it, and a lot of people, are probably scared to touch this third rail.
Third rail. Okay. Well, yeah.
They're scared. This is a third rail because people don't want to offend folks. But this brother, it's clear that when he's getting down, it ain't with tropical people. He likes to play in the snow, right?
Princeton. And I'm just playing.
What'd you say?
I said Princeton. Nah, but I'm just playing. Because it's a lot of people that go, brothers, sisters, to go to Princeton. So
yeah, he likes to play in the snow. And with her recanting, and then with the Michael Irvin situation, and we know about all the historical atrocities that have happened to Black men when being falsely accused, whether it was just a flat out lie or whether it was consensual, and then they said, oh, because of the shame that may be on the white woman, and they say, oh no, I wasn't willing to do that, and the things that happened to us, being lynched, being murdered, being castrated because of our interactions with white women, it just, to me, it made me skeptical. I was skeptical. A lot of people may disagree with that, but I really don't care, because when I look at history, I feel it's something that we as Black men need to be cautious of. When we talked about the Michael Irvin situation, right? He was conversing with that woman. It wasn't the woman that was really tripping, right?
Mm-hmm.
She didn't walk off, and again, we couldn't hear, so we don't know. It was the men, and they didn't look like they were Black men. They looked like they was white men. Now, I could be wrong. I can't see them all, right? But it was the men, and we know often, based on history, that's how it went. So we look at what happened to Emmett Till, right? And how the lady who's still alive, and I really hope that she gets what's coming to hers before she leaves this earth, because she got that young man murdered. I really hope something happens to her. It wasn't her that did it. It was her husband and brother-in-law. So we really got to be careful with that. And to me, that's why I was kind of like, nah, I'm skeptical of this all, just because I've seen how the situation has played out in the past.
Yeah, I honestly that popped into my head as well, but it's one of those deals where, again, that's who he chooses to that's his preference, right? So,
but I mean, with your preference though, and I don't try to judge people, but we got to keep it real. Sometimes your preference can put you in situations that are not safe.
Right. It definitely can. And no, I was saying, I'm sure he has to have thought about that. Like, I would think that if that's what you're going to exclusively be interacting with, like that has to cross your mind as a black man at some point? Like,
I don't think it does though,
you
bro.
don't think so?
I don't think it does because me and you, we don't play those games, right? We don't play those away games. But for guys that do, I don't think they care. I don't think they think about it, man.
Yeah, I don't think they think about it either. Most of them, at least the majority of them, I don't
Man.
think about it.
I mean, because historically, I'm not going to say this is a history defining moment or something, but yeah, you have to have thought about that though. Like you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
It's kind of like what is it? Remember the movie Jungle Fever when Wesley Snipes was with Annabelle. What was her last name? Ciara. I can't remember that.
I can't remember her last name either.
But it was Wesley Snipes and the Italian girl, and they were out. They were on the street, and they were like play fighting or whatever on the street, and the cops pulled up. And on this scene, the cops were like, "Man, was he doing something to you or whatever?" And he was like, "Yo, I got my hands up, and you can't. Look, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening." He was scared because he knew the consequences of a black man, accosting a white woman. This scene of this movie was in New York, and we see how the Central Park Five, how they put 5 young men in prison off of a lie, right? Off of inaccurate information, I should say. So, but in that same scene, she was all belligerent and talking crazy to the cops. And then when they left, he said, "You can't do that. You can't do that because I'm still a black man." So some of those guys, maybe they do, but I think that they either are oblivious or willfully blind to what could happen in that situation.
And I'm glad you said
the
willfully.
second, the latter, because I think that you automatically think those guys automatically think that particular woman they're with is not like that. In their head, the woman that does it is like the racist or the one that used racial terms or the one that grew up in the Ku Klux Klan family or something. So they just like in any situation, when you're with your wife or your spouse, you assume that they're not going to cheat on you, even though it happens. You assume they're not going to be abusive. You know what I mean? You just always, I think that's what it is. I think they just think that the person they're with at the time is not like all those others that it has happened to. That's what I personally think. I don't know though.
So let me ask you this. So when this came out, right, a lot of black men were like, "No, we need to wait for the facts, right? Innocent until proven guilty." Now, some sisters called black men out. They were like, just a couple of weeks ago, y'all was talking about his clothes and how he's being, emasculated and all this. Now y'all want to go to bat for him when he is allegedly an abuser.
That's two different things.
It is. I think a lot of black men.
But the reason why, hold your train of thought. Yeah. The reason why they would try to conflate the two was because it was like, okay, you were questioning his masculinity when it comes to this. Now you want to defend his masculinity when it comes to alleged abuse. You were questioning his black manhood, when it comes to the clothing decisions that he was making. Now you want to defend his black manhood when it comes to these abuse allegations.
Okay, so I can answer that. It's going to be two parts. First part is I personally wasn't questioning his masculinity. I was questioning his choices and what he was allowing people to put him in and them lips that he was doing. He chose to put them lips. That has not in his personal life. I'm pretty sure he is a very masculine man. I think he just needs to learn how to say no.
Yeah, me and you both said that on the show that we.
Yeah, I think he just couldn't say no when they say, "Hey, I want you to wear this." No, I'm not. And then I need to see those pictures just to make sure I'm not, going like this on accident, stretching my cheeks, and y'all done caught me mid like this, and then people think I'm doing duck lips. Now, the second part, I don't correlate abuse with anything masculine. Maybe it's because I have a lot of friends and who are same gender loving, who are females, and I've seen abuse with them, and I've seen women that are abusive towards men. So nothing about that made me think that had anything to do with his masculinity. Like I said, originally I didn't even think he did it, but so I don't understand like why people assume that that has something to do with masculinity because he was accused of choking somebody out in a cab. Like people fight all the time.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying what what we're seeing in the Twitter atmosphere.
Right.
And the other piece was this, and I'm gonna ask you if it's fair or foul. Then I give you my opinion. There were a lot of sisters because a lot of people was like, yeah, you know what, black man, white woman. I seriously doubt that this white woman is telling the truth, right? And a lot of brothers were saying that. But listen, look at history. They're like me. Look at history. They've been known to lie on us. They have been. But there were some sisters that was like, black women, go ahead and sit this out because he ain't checking for us. Let him go ahead and fight that battle on his own. Fair or foul?
I'm not gonna. Ugh. That's a tough one, man. I honestly, I would say they need to still ride for him because they want black men to ride for them at all times and in all circumstances and all situations. So still got to ride for him.
See,
I'm gonna say foul. I mean, you just because you don't like somebody's choices or sexual preference doesn't mean I'm not gonna ride for him. Like I'm still a woman. If he was truly abusing that woman, then yeah, I mean, I would have a problem with it. But it's not. That's his choice. And just because we as women don't like that black man's choice, if he didn't say anything derogatory, if he's not saying anything negative, like, oh, I don't ever want to date a black woman because she's this, this, and this, and I like this, then maybe I might say, okay, well, I'm just, that's on his. He's on his own. I'm gonna let him sit it out. But if that's who he chose to date or chose to have a kid with, I don't know who was attracted to him, really, because I mean, sometimes those people just get who they can get. We don't know, minus the money, how many people was shooting their shot at him, at Jonathan.
Man.
So I don't know. I don't know where he grew up. So
look at some before pics before he was in Hollywood.
I was trying to say it without saying it. I have.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's true. money do a lot for folks.
It does.
Money do a lot for folks, and that goes for everybody. But I'm gonna say fair. I'll say fair, just because if it were a sister who wasn't checking for brothers, I gotta take that back.
Right. If Serena Williams' husband was,
I would still ride. I would still ride for her, but I'm not going to be extra vocal. I'm not coming to the pep rally. I'm not holding a sign.
Yeah, you're not leading the cheers.
I'm gonna be like, yo, like, yeah, that's messed up. But other than that, that's about where it's gonna stop. That's where it's gonna stop. Now, if it's a black man abusing a sister, you wrong. You a coward. You a punk. We can't do that, right? If it's a white man abusing a sister that's not with him or whatever, but if it's her choices, now a Candace Owens.
Well, so that was my next question. I was going to name her, and then that one actress that was in that one movie. I can't think of it.
What's it?
Stacey Dash?
No, Slim and Queen. Was it Queen?
Yeah, her. That's what I was going to say. So what if it would have been them two? Then what are you going to say?
So Stacey Dash, Candace Owens, and the girl from Queen and Slim. I'm bringing back an old phrase. You ain't heard me say this in a long time. See, you already know what I'm about to say. Hold your own nuts. You be dogging black men. You rested in the snow. You handle that.
Yeah.
That was his favorite acronym for several years. That's how I knew where you were going.
Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. I got it from him. Hold your own nuts. Right? Because we about black empowerment over here. But
He's adding that flavor to your function. DD's daiquiri. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Flavor to your function. DD's daiquiri. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Good people, good vibe, one drink. Wanna kick back, wanna just vibe. Bring a kick back. Let me first slide to the drink store. Let me just buy DD drink mixes, all of them fire. Fill me up a case, I'm finna drop bread. Marvelous mango, classic and red. Took them to the party, these folks won't leave me alone. They wanting me to share, they better get their own. DD's adding that flavor to your function. DD's daiquiri. Good vibe, one drink at a time. Good vibe, one drink.
listen, another thing that I was hearing people saying, this was a good point. This is a damn good point. They said, well, listen, we don't believe this white woman, and I tend to be in that crowd, right? Until I see more evidence. But they say you don't believe black women either. And an example of that was Meg Thee Stallion. There was a lot of so-called brothers that didn't believe Meg. They impugned her credibility. They called her a liar and really drung her through the ringer. Now, as the facts came out in that case, we did see that Megan, she's young. What's Megan? Is she like 25, 26?
Yeah,
20,
she about
something
25,
like that.
26, somewhere
like her
around there.
mid-20s or whatever. And now, I mean, I'm gonna give her some grace because when I was in my mid-20s, I definitely didn't have everything figured out, and I was, making a lot of mistakes and figuring out who I was and the type of person I wanted to be and the standard I wanted to set for my life. However, it still didn't change the fact that somebody shot that girl.
Yeah.
And one person had the gun.
Not somebody. We know who did it.
Yeah,
right. One person had the gun, and it was that little short fucker from Canada.
Right?
Yeah. So the people was going hard to try to
little leprechaun in the hood.
Right, your little angry self, man, up here trying to fight. Who was he trying to fight? August Alsina.
Yeah.
Then had his daddy up there talking about America and all this stuff, man. You better shut your mouth down before you get deported.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how you come over here and then you want to try to talk about what we got going on and you're not from here. There is no way. There is no way I would go to anybody else's country here and talk about their laws and their customs. There's absolutely no way. You know how
and what they should do.
Right. So, like, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, but I think they made a good point, though. I think that we do need to believe women, and more importantly, we need to believe Black women.
Yeah,
and that's what my focus is on.
And
I know a lot of people are gonna watch this show, and we got a lot of new followers, and they're probably not gonna like what I'm gonna say. They're like, "Well, why is it about race or whatever?" Listen, this show is about empowering. It's about empowering and enriching every brother and sister that's under the sound of our voice. And that's what my focus is on.
Yeah. And furthermore about believing Black women, and I mean, I guess believing women in general, that's something that I can honestly say it's taken me a long time, and I've progressed a lot on that because I mean, I think it just comes with experience, man, and knowing and talking to people, because you do start to understand how many people have been affected by relationship violence and with sexual assault, everything like that. The number of Black women, if you had asked me 20 years ago or in college, I would have never guessed it was that high, and I would have probably, for the life of me, been like, she just, I don't know, she crazy or whatever they say, she's trying to cover up for the fact that she did this or something like that. But we have to make a conscious effort not to judge either way. To me, it's either way. I want to listen to the facts because, especially in this instance with Jonathan Majors, because it was a non-melanated woman, and I can't. If it was a Black woman, I probably would be more apt to believe her in this situation. I'll be honest with you, man. Like I would. Yeah. So
now, had there been situations?
I actually thought she was Black. Well, so it's not so much I thought she was Black.
You ain't know enough about him then.
I didn't. So I did watch like Lovecraft. I knew he was coming out of Marvels, and then I knew he likes to do duck lips because that wasn't the only photo shoot where he's done this. But other than that, no, I don't. I don't know. I never heard nothing about who he dated. I didn't know anything. I didn't. So when I first heard it, I guess I just kind of assumed she was Black. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. And somebody put it out on social media, and I tried to look it up. And it was, people could put a meme out and everybody will think that it's true.
Yes.
It's not necessarily true, right? It's just somebody put it on the meme and people will share it. And somebody put out a meme that says, shout out to John. So I'm paraphrasing. shout out to Jonathan Majors' publicist for hiding his white wife. Because here's the
it was his wife?
No, see. No,
Oh.
not his wife. I don't think he's married. No.
Oh,
But
okay.
that's what I'm saying. Somebody put this meme out. Shout out to Jonathan Majors' publicist for hiding. Matter of fact, let me try to find it. Hold on.
Man, speaking of the memes and stuff, with all this AI, it's gonna be
Scary.
difficult to discern.
Scary.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of all this AI art. I'm not at all. Like I saw,
it's like people didn't watch the Terminator.
Yeah, I mean it's totally off the subject, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't know her name, and I'm sure she's not the only one doing it. So I definitely don't want to come down on this sister. But there's one who typed a whole entire post about what she observed at the Black Rodeo in
At the
Houston.
rodeo. Now it's not
and
a
then
Black
use
rodeo.
straight
It's
AI
rodeo.
photos. You know how many people go to that rodeo? You know how many people are there? Like, why wouldn't you use real photos? And then straight
rodeo.
bunch of
The rodeo in Houston is a major event. It's a major long event. So then when I first saw it, I was like, it's clear this is AI. And then what was troubling was so many people were sharing it, like, oh, these beautiful people at the rodeo. I was like, dude, that's not real people.
We gotta go next time so we
there
can
was
see
no life in their eyes. And then finally she edited this, was like, well, I thought it was
Yes.
obvious that this was like, nah, girl, you know what you was doing.
After the fact. And the thing is,
Clickbait.
if you use those AI photos, I feel if you're trying to make like a flyer and you want people to come to an event, then that's fine. Do that. Because you know, there's a lot of party promoters that do that when they have like a fake stripper or whatever on the front of a flyer. But she posted it like she was there. She might have been there. Like she was there. She witnessed it.
Like she was the
yes, like she was.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then like Marv said, after people started coming for her, because like I guess when you know, like he said, the eyes don't look right. Everybody has the same nose. There's only like 3 sets of lips that she's able to pick, but then the hands didn't look right. So then she put an edit at the top and put, you know, oh, this is the AI photo. But she even put like dialogue about the stuff she watched, the stuff she viewed, what people look like, and then posted AI photos. I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna tell you what's even scarier than that, though. It's not the pictures; it's the voices.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw a post on Instagram this morning where AI took y'all's boy Kanye's voice and remade a bunch of popular songs. So like it had Kanye doing like Justin Bieber's song, Kid Cudi's song.
Oh wow!
And I'm telling you, it sounded like Kanye.
Yeah.
It really did. But Kanye had nothing to do with that. It was just all AI. So imagine if somebody could take my face, my voice, my mannerisms, and go on to YouTube and put out this dialogue and it'd be and everybody shared it and said Marvin Banks said this. I'm like, no, that wasn't right. What are you talking about? And people don't see the danger in that.
Man, I saw one. I knew it was AI. It was Biden, and he said your loans is forgiven.
Right. But hey, but think about this though.
I laugh, but it kind of hurt at the same time. Like I don't know whether to laugh or cry right now.
Right. But think about this though. Think about how dangerous it. Not only could somebody put out like a false narrative with your voice, how about they put out, yo, I admit that I did this crime.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you under the jail.
Yeah.
You know, that shit is dangerous, man.
It is.
I'm not for it. I'm not
either. I'm not
for it at all. But back to what we was talking about.
Okay.
So the person, and you could tell that the person who put it out, the person's name is Angry Black Homo. And they spell homo HOEMO. Angry Black Homo. So Angry Black Homo put out, whichever publicist told Jonathan Majors to stop taking his white wife out in public deserves a raise. So immediately when I saw it, I started searching. I was like, this dude's married? And, you know, Google search or whatever, you couldn't find anything. And then you find out, okay, he has a daughter. And there was this article where his daughter was talking about during like the George Floyd protests and all this stuff about her hair or whatever. And how he told her like, your hair is your crown. And it said his daughter's biracial. So that was the first hint that I was like, Okay. You know what I mean? Because like normally, if they would have said like if it's biracial, if it was like Latin or something else, they would have put that in there,
They
right?
actually say that.
Yeah, they
Or they
actually
would say
say it.
multiracial.
Yeah, they actually say it because it's more exotic and sexy. But when
Yeah.
they say biracial, you know what that means, right?
Yeah, white. Yeah.
No, and then there was one picture where he went up to some event, some award show, red carpet affair, and he was holding Snow Bunny's hand. Shout out to Dr. Umar. But I don't think that if it was as known his preference to C's point, because he was like, I just assumed, I thought, I don't think if it was as known, he would get as much love from the black community as possible. I can tell you this: President Barack Obama would not have been the president. He would not have been 44 were it not for Michelle Obama.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he had, and there was some stories, I don't know how true it was, that when he was in college, he was playing in the snow, and he realized like, nah, I got political aspirations, and I can't do this, because this dude, first of all, Barack grew up in Hawaii.
Yeah.
He grew up in Hawaii with his white grandparents who were from Kansas. His daddy was an African man. How the hell Barack get all this soul?
South Side, baby.
He got it from Michelle, right? And he was able to play. He played it. Hey, the only person that played us better than Barack was Bill Clinton when he had that sax in Arsenio. Bill Clinton went and played the sax in Arsenio, and black people was voting in droves.
But see, you know what? I'm not even gonna say
in the black church. He went to the black
played. He played us. I'm not gonna say that because you know how many times people reinvent themselves. You move to a new city, you move a new group of people, and people do it all the time. People people I know have done it. Yeah. You like what you see, don't you? I know you do. You too can be fly like me and the rest of the Man Listen crew. Grab this merch. Check out our link in our bio. Drip.
Here's my thing with Barack, and there was one clip of him. He was at some black church, and he was really playing it up, where he was trying to sound like an old Southern black preacher, and I told him this. And he was really, and even everybody had to be like, yeah, come on, bro. They had to do it. And I'll say he played us just because I think Barack Obama was a good president, but we've said it on this show before, he let us down. That was our one opportunity to get what we needed to get, and he let us down. It don't make no sense.
Opportunity, bro.
Huh?
What did you need to get? What opportunity did he have?
Reparations. What are you talking about?
Yeah. How's he gonna do that?
He wasn't gonna do that.
Yeah, how's he gonna
do that?
He
wasn't gonna do it because you know why he wasn't gonna do it? Because he wasn't gonna get none.
No, how was he? He can't do that.
Was he gonna get some? See, when he first,
no, he wasn't.
He wasn't gonna get none. See,
he wasn't gonna get none.
He wasn't gonna get none. And then when he first got
daddy was the one his daddy's people was organizing the bus trip over here. People be like, I want to go back. Why? So we can get sold twice? I'm fine right here for now.
Right. People be like, oh, I'm leaving. I'm going to the Caribbean. I'm like, no, I'm staying right here.
Right here.
It was owed to me. And I definitely ain't going to Africa. No, definitely not. Shout out to the brothers and sisters from Africa that's down for the struggle. But we know that there's some who was show not, and we know where their lineage come from. They the ones that sold us over here. You know what I mean? But nah, man, he could. When he first got into office, man, he had the House. He had the House and the Senate.
But he does. But I guarantee you, the Democrat that was in office in Missouri at that time wasn't going to vote for it, even though he was a Democrat. He wasn't going to vote for that.
I got you. So. Yes, that's extreme, and we're having fun and we're joking.
Yeah.
However, there were things that it was pointed out that President Obama could have done to protect the Black community. So right now, we're dealing with a lot of uncertainty when it comes to the banking industry, right? Economic conditions. We've seen this before. Back when we had the housing crisis in 2008.
Yep.
The people got bailed out. You know, Wall Street got bailed out. The banks got bailed out, and a lot of those banks,
Ford or whoever, Chevy.
the auto industry got bailed out.
GM. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of those banks that got bailed out, they profited off of taking advantage of Black people. You had all those people with arms, people who were all of a sudden underwater. And the reason why it destroyed us, because we often talk about wealth in this community, a lot of us had wealth, but it was tied into our houses.
Into the house, yeah.
So when you wipe that out, we took several steps back. And then President Obama, he let them off the hook. Now, did he do some positive things? Yeah, we talked about it, right? We talked about the consent decrees and how him and Eric Holder, how they was going after those racist police departments, like in St. Louis and in Cleveland. I believe it was in St. Louis, but I know for sure it was in Cleveland. There was a couple other ones where he was going in, where they were going in and saying, like, what are you all doing? Matter of fact, I know it was in the St. Louis area, because that's when they were pointing out how, you know, these communities were just being targeted. Different law enforcement agencies in the St. Louis area. I'm not saying that President Obama didn't do good things, but I'm saying he did let us down, and it was things that he could have did under his power. It don't make no sense that Joe Biden was the one that's trying to take down student loans, right? To eliminate student loans.
Yeah.
Obama didn't.
Nah. Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
But back to the point, because we went.
Yeah, but that was, I think a lot of that came from, I know we did go through a recession with Obama, and I'm not taking up, you know, I don't really care for either one of them. Let's just establish that right now. But
and we know why.
Yeah,
we
established that a while ago.
Yeah, we established that a while ago. We know your point.
What I'm saying is the reason Joe is on that train now is because it got brought up after, you know, after what the country went through after COVID. So that's the only reason. If it wasn't for that, Joe wouldn't be screaming it either.
Different time. Yeah, I didn't hear nobody.
I think you. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not right, but I do think that enough of us, folks like us, started to reach the ears of people who were blindly voting for the Democrats. When we kept saying, yo, we're not getting anything for our vote. Like nothing is happening. We're voting for you all, and we're not getting enough back. You're taking care of the Asians, you're taking care of the Hispanics, you're taking care of the immigrants, you're taking care of the LGBTQIA community, you're taking care of all of them, and we are the mainstay of the party. They don't win anything in the South. They're not able to do anything without Black people, right? They wanted to be Hispanics, but Hispanics, they don't even show up to vote. So it's us. It's us, right? And I think they finally started to see, now we got to give them something, right? So we have started to see more under Joe Biden than we did under Obama. And I know a lot of people are like, well, President Obama did this, President Obama. Yeah, you can point out a lot of things. You can point out a lot of things. And again, I'm not saying that President Obama was a bad president.
He could have pushed it a little further off there.
He definitely could have. Especially when he was, look, this dude put Merrick Garland. This dude put Merrick Garland up for the Supreme Court. Merrick Milquetoast Garland. Why wouldn't he put a Black woman up to be it? Why wouldn't President Obama say, no, I'm going to nominate a Black woman to be a Supreme Court justice? It took Joe Biden to do it, and Joe did it. We said, hey, look, Joe didn't even tell why. He's like, when I get in office, we're gonna put a Black woman on the Supreme Court. Yeah. Joe Biden they went to that old white man, what was his name? Stephen Bear, whatever. They say, look, now, you ain't gonna be like RBG and die and leave us short.
Not gonna die on the bench.
Go ahead and retire now so we could put a Black woman on so these darkies could be happy. Right?
That's why he did it. That's
exactly why he did it.
Yeah.
That's exactly why he did it. So when it comes time, he'll be like, look, this is what I did for y'all. You know, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't Black. Look and see hot. Anyway, we off topic. Jonathan Majors, I hope, brother, that you are exonerated. I don't even know if that's the right term, because I don't think he's been charged yet. Was he charged and arrested?
I thought they charged him.
I think he was charged, but he wasn't convicted of anything. So.
He was definitely charged and arrested.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been indicted, though.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Well, I hope that, the information comes out that clears your name. You got a bright future. And I don't want to see any black man, regardless of, you know, whether he likes to play in the tropics or in the snow. I don't want to see him, you know, I don't want to see anything.
Hey, I was trying not to laugh on that one.
I couldn't even say it with a straight face.
I did, I did too. Because he just keeps casually saying it.
But yeah, I hope it's not true, my brother. You know, it's like I think your heart's in the right place. I think you're on the cusp of doing big things. And if nothing else, we need to see brothers like you, brothers like Michael B. Jordan, putting out positive images of black men for our young black boys to see. So on that note, I think we talked about it enough. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at manlistenshow. Subscribe to the show on YouTube. Leave a comment. I know y'all probably got a lot to say about this one. Bring it on. I'll holler at you. Make sure you share the show. Tell everybody about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. Holler at you next time. Peace. Shout out to Eureka.